Interviews like these, and I do the same. I do the same thing on my show, and it's fun. It's fun.
Yes. So, welcome everyone to Resilient Wild and Unstoppable, and continuing with our interview series. And today we get to interview Brian and find out who he is and all the passionate heart that he brings into the world. So, Brian or Snowman Media Multimedia, please tell us who you are.
Well, I'll start with the nickname. Snowman was given to me as an insult a long time ago. I just used the last 40 years to turn it out into not only into a positive nickname, but into a brand, which my beautiful wife has told me all the time. Snowman's a brand, use it. So I am. I am from Chicago. I've been a sports nut as long as I can remember, thanks to my dad and my granddad. Uh, I also love old game shows, Price is Right rules, as well as Card Sharks, $25,000 Pyramid, and if you haven't seen the version with Dick Clark, you haven't lived. If you haven't seen Pressure Luck, you haven't lived. If you haven't watched an episode of The Price is Right, the Bob Barker era, you really haven't lived. Uh, but aside of all that, sports is my core, family is my core. I've been happily married to my wife, Jodi, for almost 7 years now. I got a new lease on life after blood clots in both lungs and cancer came a knocking on my door. And thanks to my wife, Jodi, and her belief, and she's always said to me, "You owe me 50 years," because we finally found each other. That's been like a running joke, but a running lifeline for both of us. And because of this strong woman who I love very dearly, we a found a doctor that did an operation. It cost me 5 organs, but I'd rather be sitting here talking to you and talking to the folks instead of being somewhere else. So that,
Wow.
and it's simple with me. I love sports, I love old game shows, and I love old cartoons. Hence the greeting I gave you before we came on when I said, "What's up, Doc?"
Oh my gosh. I can't even imagine one going through everything that you've experienced. And it gave me chills to hear you talk about your wife and that foundation for being able to, really return to your health and your love for life. So
I
that's
told her I went out to get us lunch today, and I told her, "Thank you for getting me back to being me and helping me restore my own confidence." Because, and I say this all the time, as a man, we get our confidence knocked around all the time. And it's tough for a man to find the one that restores it, especially after a long time. And I'll tell you this story. When I met Jodi, I was on the verge of stepping off a cliff and not coming back.
ooh,
I was mentally and emotionally checked out because I went through a horrible relationship in Dayton, Ohio. I was kicked out. I was homeless. And I thought nobody cared. And I thought nobody would miss me when I'm gone. That's when this pretty lady raced the clock and pulled me back from the cliff as if to say, "I don't know you, but I need you." And since then, it's been a joyride.
wow.
Have we been through hell and back? You better believe it. I nearly lost my life twice. And she has caught every tear that I've shed. I've caught every tear that she shed. And she is the only woman in my life that can pull a pure laugh out of me when I'm down in the dumps. And she has done it several hundred times. And I cannot say thank you on or off air enough for my beautiful Dr. K, my beautiful Jodi, for just being there.
Oh my gosh. That is so powerful. So it's like I want to continue on that journey. And because I do these as a spotlight, I want to know more about, what is your passion? What is your purpose? What, I hear you talk about sports. Is there more to that you want to share?
My favorite play-by-play announcer of all time is the late great Jim Durham. And when I was born and raised in Chicago, and when Michael Jordan showed up in 1984, I became a Bulls fan. And then a year after that same year, the 84-85 season, I turn on the radio and I hear Jim Durham's voice. And
Mm.
it was a playoff game against the Milwaukee Bucks. I heard his voice and I said, you know what? If he can do it, I can do it. And I can honestly tell you, I took the most unconventional road to a 30-year sportscasting career,
Wow.
which, yeah, December 7th is the official celebration of my 30th year. And
Congratulations.
thank you. A lot of people don't believe I've been around 30 years. Why? Because they look at the money. Now, you've been around 30 years. Why aren't you signed with a network? Simple. I want my own.
Hmm.
I don't want to work for one of these networks. And I kept trying to apply because my mother for years was getting in my head talking about you need to apply for a network. Screw that. I want my own, damn it. That's how dad taught me. That's how granddad taught me. That's how this beautiful lady who has gotten in my ear for the past 7 years, she said, man, you got a brand, build on it.
Hmm.
Now, after 30 years of trial and error, more error than trial, I'm finally getting my act together. And I can't be more bold and more happier with the people that have stood behind me. And Snowman Multimedia now has a website. We now have a YouTube channel. And boy, it's taken me a lot to build the YouTube channel, especially with my health issues.
Hmm.
I've lost a pair of possible contracts in the past 5 years, and I don't care. I get to sit here in this studio and call the games that I want to call. Does it require an investment? Yep, it does. Am I trying to get said investment? Yep, I am. Does it require me to do something else while I'm building this? Yeah, it does. And people don't, there are still people, I can tell you honestly right now, there are people that still don't believe in me in doing this, especially after I put my GoFundMe page out there and all of my other funding options when I'm on the air. I have had trolls tell me essentially to my face that no one should give a dime to my recovery efforts.
Wow.
So you know what I did to piss them off? I put it out there anyway. I finally told this dude, this whose voice has been in my head for the past 12 years, you ain't gonna stop me. In fact, I put it in the form of a question. What pisses you off more? The fact that you can't stop me or the fact that you fear me? So finally, as it was said in the old movie Network in 1976, and the key line delivered by Peter Falk, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I got mad.
Yeah.
And as he said it best. I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore. I got mad. And I've said it all the time. And now, for the first time since I've been saying it for the past 3.5 years, it's in my heart. When you get mad, you get focused.
Hmm.
So I'm there. I am there. I'm stepping off of a cliff into focus. And like I said, I finally got mad.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's awesome because it sounds like you are fully driven into living your dream and staying focused on your vision.
Mm-hmm. I have two visions right now. Not only to get Snowman Multimedia into the $1 billion a year empire that it will be, and I got a goal to do that in the next 5 years. But as I've talked about throughout the course of this, there's a pretty lady behind me who I'm supporting full bore, who is getting her empire in order, and we're going to put them together.
Oh, wow.
We're going to put them together. We're going to get an RV and drive across the country and work mobily, you know, work on the road. I'm ready to get minimal and get on the road, man. Just give me my studio set up. Let my wife have her set up. We get time with each other at the end of each work day, and that's that. I'm getting back to my
Absolutely.
old, I'm getting back to my old principles. I'm getting back old school.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm looking forward to hearing more and more as you continue this journey. So, what are three powerful tips that you want to share with our audience with
Three
everything that you've
powerful
learned?
tips. Be
Yeah.
yourself, stay focused, have fun. Be yourself, stay focused, have fun. That's it, and that's all. I watch cartoons on this doggone thing every day that I can to uh, keep myself together. I have old comedy that I've listened to since the 80s that I have here. Richard Pryor, George Carlin, Eddie Murphy, Bill Cosby, all the classics. I got them right over here.
Yeah.
And if my wife's not around to pull a laugh from me and I hear her voice in my head and I still laugh anyway, I pull one of those out. And it's so funny. Um, we were watching a football game. We were living in North Carolina and we were watching a football game and something crazy happened. It was the Vikings playing the New Orleans Saints in a playoff game. And I heard my wife say, "Insanity ensues." I start laughing, my brain starts turning. And I turned to Jodi and I said, "Can you record that line for me?" She turned and looked at me and went, "What?" I said, "I want you to record that. Insanity ensues." She recorded it and it became my podcast intro. Even better one. There was one day I had trouble getting up. And would I like to spend more time in North Carolina? Absolutely. I miss Carolina, but we're going to head west when we get everything together, which is why I got the GoFundMe that I'm going to post. And I'm seeking a ton of money so we can get some wheels and get some financial bearings under us. And I can help that pretty lady not struggle anymore. Um, we were living in North Carolina and I kept thinking of her voice in my head. And I had a hard time getting up. And she just says, "Will you please wake up?" And there goes my brain again. And I walked in there and I said, "Honey, can you record something else for me?" She goes, "Well, you're going to have to write it down because if you say it, I'll forget it." So I laugh when I tell the story every time. Um, so I wrote it down and I said, "This is the line that I need you to record for me." And she says, she turned to me with a wicked smile and she goes, "How do you want me to do it?" I said, "Think of the way you tried to wake me up this morning." And I said, "There's one caveat." She says, "What's that?" "If when I hit record, I got to go out of the room. Because if you try to do it with me in the room, I'll start laughing." And she says, "All right, you're on." So I pressed the recorder and I went out of the room. She recorded the line and I played it back on the first take and I hear, "Mister, will you please wake up?" And I fell out laughing. I fell out laughing to the point where, and I'm going to try to find it and play it for you, to the point where it's now a part of my opening for my morning show. And it's so, I won't be able to find it. And it's so recognizable now that everybody that tunes in will throw a joke at me saying, "Are you listening to Dr. K? Are you waking up now?" And I'm on the floor laughing because it's crazy that everyone knows how much, everyone who knows me or knows of me knows how much Jodi means to me. And if Jodi's taught me nothing else besides how to be organized, hey, there's a simple rule: if it ain't on the calendar, it doesn't exist.
Mhm.
I didn't believe it for the first 5 years. I did not believe that saying. I'm like, I can remember. Wrong answer. Wrong answer. Sometimes when I heard her say that, and I'm like, man, I can remember everything. Now I think, are you kidding me? And she's dead right. She's dead. Every time I try to remember something, that happens. Right? Right? Sometimes you've gone through this. A lot of busy people have gone through this. Sometimes you just gotta sit in your chair and you gotta do this.
Yep.
You gotta think for 30 seconds. And if it takes you 30 seconds to think of something that instead of putting it up on your calendar, you're in trouble.
Oh,
Been there, done that, got the t-shirt, burnt the sumbitch when I got done with it finally.
everything's on my calendar. Everything's on my calendar.
Hey, that's what I'm doing. The time I schedule to work on my website, the games I'm going to do, and I still got a couple to put on the calendar for this weekend because I am quasi the voice of the Colts when my honey is here. And oh man, her and my mother-in-law went to Kentucky one time. And I said, and the Colts were playing the Titans. And I said, I'm gonna take a nap because the Colts are gonna beat the hell out of the Titans. I'm gonna take a nap and get ready for the 49ers game. Nope. A phone call came in. Jodi and my mother-in-law were on the way back, and she says, "Are you doing the Colts game?" No. Well, you need to do the Colts game because I can't find it. Um, honey, it's on the Colts radio network. I know in Indiana. We're in Kentucky. Uh-oh. So I'm flying around trying to get everything together. And since cancer, I've had belly issues. And there was one break I had to go to the bathroom. And as Jodi tells me, when she came back in the house, she says, I knew you were in the bathroom taking an extended break. How'd you know that? Because usually your breaks are 2 minutes and you took 5.5 minutes there. And I'm dying. I'm sitting there dying. And I'm thinking, does this woman not know me?
She knows you. She knows you.
But that's just us. When you find that connection, all of the ills of the past, you laugh at them now.
Hmm.
You laugh at them and you point to the people that let you go. And there's an old song that I say to Jodi all the time. It's a toast to the fools who let you go.
Yeah. Although
So,
mine are all
abs-
dogs and cats, so
hey, I have 3 cats and I got a pretty little dog. So I understand.
it's rescue central here.
I I get it. I get that. But hey, that's ours. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
So we usually go about 10 or 15 minutes and we've probably exceeded that because I'm so busy listening to you. I'm not really paying any attention to time. And I'm curious about this morning show that you've mentioned and what that is about.
It's called Snowman in the Morning. I began the show off of a dare in 2013 because normally I was doing an afternoon show called the Afternoon Locker Room. So someone mentioned to me, if you want to compete with the morning show, if you want to compete with the big time morning shows, start one and put your opinions out there. So,
Hmm.
man, I can't do that. I already got an afternoon show. She looked at me and went, "Oh yeah, I dare you." Oh, you're gonna put it that way, huh? You're on. October 1st, it was the Snowman Morning Show, and October 2nd, it became Snowman in the Morning, and we have celebrated our 12th season.
Wow.
We're in the process of celebrating our 12th season. But again, to go back to the old school, if you're not bringing in a ton of money, then you don't exist.
Hmm.
Heck with that. I've been doing this morning show 12 years and I'm proud of it and proud of the crew that we assembled. And when we walk into Radio Row, either this year or next year at the Super Bowl, we're coming in there guns a blazing because sometimes you just get tired of the old rules and
Yeah.
you and in your mind you tear them apart.
Yeah. I love your passion for your dreams and your goals. That is so powerful. And so many people have shut that down. So I
Mm-hmm.
love to see it shining bright within you.
Well, let
Thank you
me
for
be
that.
serious. It took me a while to get back there, especially after the health problems, depression, anxiety, because I was broke, still broke in many cases. I was broke. I didn't have a car. I wasn't hanging around with other people, and people were making fun of me, even in my 40s. I still get it now at age 53. I still get people making, man, you're not gonna do this because you don't have the balls to ask for money to succeed in doing this. You can't get it together. Well, this pretty lady says different. Well, this pretty lady says different. And like I said, I told her this afternoon, thank you for knocking some sense into my head. And thank you for letting me get back to that. And she jokingly says, well, it's about damn time. But and when she says stuff like that, we both start laughing because we both have been down the road of darkness
Hmm.
with other partners that have told us, well, everything is your fault. And they meant it. When she says it to me, I start laughing because I know it's not true. And the communication between us is awesome. So Jodi is the reason I'm back to being myself.
That's awesome. Congratulations on all of that.
Thank you.
And definitely continue your journey. And it really resonates. The way you speak on this interview really resonates. And I can't remember exactly what it says, but you have a like a tagline on your Facebook page.
I
Um,
will no longer apologize for who I am, period.
yes.
And I'm at 53. I finally am saying that aloud. I will no longer apologize, and you shouldn't either. Don't
Nope.
apologize for who you are. Be yourself. Be yourself. Have fun and laugh a lot.
Absolutely.
Laugh to get you through everything.
Any last words before we close out this interview?
That's I'm reminded of the words of the great Julius Nipsey Russell. Put a thing off till tomorrow and you live your life in vain. Do it today. And if you like it, tomorrow you can do it again.
Awesome. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Snowman.
I appreciate you. Thank you.